So, you're thinking about building a career in technology? That's a huge, exciting step. And you're smart to look for a plan before you dive in. We put this together to be your personal roadmap, a clear guide to take you from your very first line of code all the way to a thriving career as a Python developer. Let's get into it.
And that's the big question, isn't it? The world of programming is massive, and trying to figure out that first step can feel pretty overwhelming. But here's the good news. There's a language out there that's not only in crazy high demand, but is also one of the most welcoming for beginners.
And this is exactly why we're focusing on Python. I mean, just look at the data. It's the second most used programming language in the entire world. What that means for you is really simple. Learning Python isn't a gamble. It's a direct investment in a skill that companies are desperately looking for right now.
To get you there, we've broken this whole roadmap down into 5 clear sections. We're going to start with why Python is the perfect entry point, then we'll get into building your foundational skills, explore the different career paths you can take, figure out how to turn all that knowledge into a job, and finally, we'll look at why this is a skill that's going to last you a lifetime. All right, section 1, why start with Python? Because, look, your first programming language is so much more than just learning syntax. It's the foundation for your entire career in tech. Let's talk about why Python is such a solid choice.
Now, this right here really gets to the heart of Python's genius. On the one hand, its syntax is so clean and readable that it almost feels like you're just writing in plain English. But on the other hand, it's powerful enough to run the massive back-end services for companies like Google, Instagram, and Spotify. It's this incredible balance that makes it so valuable.
And hey, if you're feeling like you're late to the game, don't. This stat should be incredibly encouraging. A full half of all Python developers have less than 2 years of coding experience. That means the community is packed with people who were in your exact shoes not that long ago.
Okay, with that in mind, let's jump into section 2, building your core skills. This is where we go beyond just the basics and really lay down that unshakable foundation that's going to support your whole career.
You know, a lot of people think learning to code is just about memorizing commands. But as this quote from a veteran developer points out, that's just the very beginning. The real skill is about problem solving. It's about understanding performance and knowing your data structures and algorithms inside and out. That's what separates a hobbyist from a professional.
So the path forward really looks like this. First, yes, you've got to master the syntax. Get comfortable with the language itself. But then, you need to quickly move on to learning data structures and actually practicing with algorithms. These are the fundamental building blocks of any efficient professional software.
And please, don't let a term like data structures intimidate you. All it really means is knowing the best way to organize your information for a specific task. Is it a simple list or something more complex like a tree? Knowing the right tool for the right job is what's going to make you a truly effective engineer.
Okay, so once you have that solid foundation, this is where the really exciting part begins. Section 3, choosing your development path. This is where you find your specialization and start to really shape what your career is going to look like.
Python's incredible versatility basically opens up 3 major career paths. For web development, you'll be building the engine behind websites using frameworks like Django for bigger, more complex sites, or maybe something like Flask for smaller, faster projects. If you go into data science and AI, you'll be using libraries like pandas to wrangle huge data sets and PyTorch to build and train AI models. And finally, for embedded systems, you'll use something called MicroPython to program the tiny computers inside smart devices. Each path is totally unique, so just think about what kinds of problems you find most exciting.
And now for the most crucial step. Section 4, from code to career. Let's talk about how you actually turn all this learning into a real-world job opportunity. And let me tell you, the job market is more than ready for you. The skills you're learning map directly to the most in-demand roles in tech today. Almost half of all professional Python use is in data analysis and web development, with machine learning right on their heels. These aren't niche fields. These are the core areas where companies are hiring like crazy.
So how do you stand out? It's not just about what you know, it's about what you can show. First, build a portfolio, but don't just copy tutorials online. Find a small, real-world problem and solve it with code. Second, try contributing to open-source projects on GitHub. Seriously, even fixing a typo in the documentation gets your name out there and shows you can work with a team. And finally, engage with the massive Python community. Go to a local meetup or join a virtual conference like PyCon. The connections you make there can be just as valuable as the code you write.
All right, let's wrap up by looking at the big picture. Section 5, Python's enduring power.
Why is learning this language such a strategic, safe bet for your future?
Python isn't some hot new trend that's going to disappear tomorrow. It's been around since 1991. What's so amazing is its ability to constantly reinvent itself. It modernized with Python 3, it became the undisputed king of data science and machine learning in the 2010s, and today it is the dominant force in the entire AI revolution. It has proven its staying power over and over again.
And that really brings us to the most important takeaway of all. Python's true power is its versatility. It's simple enough for your very first Hello World project, but it's powerful enough to build the most complex AI models on the planet. This isn't just a language to get you started, it's a skill that will literally grow with you for your entire career.
So, we've laid out the path, from the core skills to the career specializations and the practical steps to land that first job. The roadmap is officially in your hands, so the only question left is, what will you build with it?